About some mysteries of auto upholstery with Volkswagens. It seems like I've been back and forth. I'm working with a guy, one of the subscribers, Austin, who I think that's how you say his name, but he's wondering about whether Volkswagen made seats without pleats. And this is always an interest in, everybody seems to think that the only seats that are original are heat pleated seats. And I'm going to bust that right now. Because I've got right here an original. That is definitely German. This is an original seat cover. I don't know off of what year car. I only had the seat. This is definitely original. There's no doubt in my mind that this is not some reproduction seat. We pulled it off. It was straight out of it was the first seat cover. It was covered with another seat cover. And it's definitely one of the older colors. I'm not sure what year it was out of. And this is not heat pleats. These are sewn. So look right here. That is sewn. This is German material. You see that kind of stuff right there? 100%. That is German. That is not American. That's German material. So they're not always heat pleated. We looked at these here, and I was looking for, okay, these came off the car. They have cardboard sewn to the back of them with original German stuff. This is definitely German material. You see that, how it has the stuff. This I'm not sure about. Could have been that they outsourced the seats some years. So, and I don't see, so let's say this section was replaced on the seat. At some point, I would have to see a set of holes in here where the insert was made, and I don't see it. So, and as we just talk about auto upholstery real quick, how it's done. So there's always more than one stitch around the area, so you can't say, oh well, there's two sets of stitches, so that makes it not. Usually what they do is they sew the welt onto one surface, and then so it's nice and straight, and then what you do is you sew either the insert or the outer part to that. So, who knows? There's no way to know. So, but this tells you right here that they weren't always heat pleated seats. They weren't always heat pleated. Do I know what year? I don't know. Do I know why? I don't know why. But I can tell you that I've taken apart a lot of cars. I've seen a lot of cars at the shows. And I've seen ones that don't have pleated seats. And I've seen ones that looked very much like original seat covers that were not heat pleated. So I'm almost wondering, like I said, look at this material. This is definitely original. I know the sides are original. Do I know that the tops are original? No, I don't really. But I can't say that they aren't original because I don't see a set of holes. Let me just explain how it's done. So when you do an insert, let's say you do an insert, you have to cut out the old one. So you would go through, and I talked to an upholstery guy about this. You go through and you actually go through and rip the seam. So you have to rip the whole seam out all the way around. And then you would you sew another seam in there. So you usually would have loose thread somewhere. I've looked through all these seats. I mean, Is this loose thread here? No, that's just where they stopped. And right here, same thing. That's where they stopped. I don't see any loose thread. So, you know, and I don't see any set of holes here showing that there was another. There's 2 sets of stitches, but that's normal. Like I said, 2 sets is normal. 3 sets wouldn't be. There's 2 sets of stitches here. So 1 set of stitches holds the welt to the, what they did is they sewed the outer part first, this part first, which is, I like to sew this part to the welt first. But they sewn this part to the welt for some reason. I don't know. You know, I'm no upholstery expert, so I don't know why they did it that way. Maybe it's easier to do it that way. Maybe I'm doing it the wrong way. But then you know, so there's 2 sets of stitches there that I can see, and 1 insert, and 1 set of stitches through here, and I don't see any loose thread. And there's almost no way you'd be able to rip the seam and pull out all the old thread. Nobody would do that. They just leave it there usually. So anyway, just some mysteries about original seat covers, because you guys that don't ever see them, you know, how often are you going to get a 1960 bug seat cover that comes off the car and actually could be used on another car? Easily could be. I would use them because they look cool. Make them back original looking. Even if they weren't original, I mean, geez, that looks bitchin', you know, old stuff like that. And it was done so long ago that it's just like, to me, that's like total nostalgic. Even if it was, for some reason, I can't tell that it was, you know, replaced, and it was done so long ago that they had the original colors. That's bitchin'. So, but anyway, this is a sewn pleat seat. This is definitely original German. And yep. And look here, you know, on this year they actually padded this part of the seat. It's actually not really a padding. Well, it is, but it's not really, you know, it's just a very, very light padding that they had on there. And like I said, this could be early 50s, because I guess they did make vinyl seats early 50s, but it was more common to have the cloth. That I've just been told by different guys different things. But you guys are trying to get stuff original and right. Just a little bit of information there. You know, this is my theory on it. I don't know if I'm right or wrong. But what I think happened is they outsourced their seats to be made by different people. And based on what I've seen from taking apart so many cars and seeing original stuff, different years, you know, in the 60s it was a little more prominent, you know, that they were all the same. But in the 50s and early 60s, I found a lot of different things. So, but you don't see that many of them today. You know, you have to go. I've been doing this. I've done VWs back in the, you know, 80s. So the 60s cars weren't that terribly old. They were old then. But this is my theory on it. I think that they outsourced seat covers different places, or maybe they outsourced the whole seat somewhere, and different places did it different. That's my theory, and that's why you see a lot of heat pleated seats. Maybe that was one vendor that did them that way, and you see some of these that are sewn pleats, and I've seen plain seats at the show. I haven't verified it. I haven't gone to the show and specifically looked for that, but I know I've seen them without pleats. So, which is original? Maybe all of it. Which is correct? I don't know. You know, it's a mystery. You know, but just because the Samba says everything's heat pleated doesn't mean that it is, because we've proven them wrong before. You know, I mean, I appreciate Everett for doing the website and everything else, and you know, he's gathering information as much as he can, doing this stuff too. And you know, it's there's just no way to know, you know, unless you were in the factory back then, and even then, you know, you just don't know. I mean, maybe certain cars would have been more specifically gotten built at a certain place, like maybe it was convertibles like this. I don't know. I don't think this is a convertible seat. This was out of I think it was out of a regular Bug. You know, so there's a lot of mysteries. This was not a Ghia seat, so you know, I know that, but who knows? Very interesting stuff about upholstery and Volkswagens and what was original and what wasn't. I think that a lot of people just don't know. Talk to you next video. Please like, share, and subscribe.